1 2 1 2. Peace, everybody. Welcome to the Lift Up live stream. It's been a couple of weeks since I've been around. Was busy the last couple of weeks working on a project with BAM. Shout out to Macau and the whole creative team. Word, Sound, Power, which was a beautiful night. I just decided to come online tonight. I wasn't sure if I was going to. We had another great loss in our community. You know, as my pops would say, one of the greats, Bob FASS, Radio Unnameable. And so tonight I'm just gonna take a little bit of time to reflect and honor someone who was, was like family to me, was one of my uncles in my countercultural family of origin. And so I invite you to come on this journey. Love to know if you're in the house. So I'm just going to give a moment. If you're here, let me know you're here. Once again, welcome to the Lift Up live stream. We're doing a special just audio version tonight in honor of the wonderful but now departed Bob FASS. So I'm reaching out there to my people, wherever you're at. I'm just curious if you've heard of Bob FASS, if you've heard of Radio Unnameable. You know, I remember as a kid going up to WBAI with my pops, with my dad, Steve Ben Israel. And I can't even remember where BAI was in the 80s. I think it was somewhere in Midtown, maybe in the 30s somewhere. And I just remember being a young kid and all these sights and sounds and smells and characters and hanging out in the middle of the night. I think about my parents who lived with Bob on 42nd Street in that area in the 70s in a loft. You know, I didn't grow up knowing a lot of my blood family. You know, my parents' artistic community was really the family that I grew up around. And I'm grateful to have spent time, to have known Bob FASS. Someone who has inspired folks all over the world. I remember working on the show The Spinning Wheel about my father, and there was a really cool independent radio station in London, and my good friend Leo K, I can't remember if he organized it or who organized it, but we ended up on this radio show in London. And it was free form, and it was going everywhere, and it was political, and it was cultural, and, you know, it just was a reminder of how interconnected we are. And when I got talking to the host, it turns out that one of his inspirations was Radio Unnameable and Bob FASS. And it was so beautiful to see this young man in his, late 20s, early 30s in the middle of London, you know, generations later after the show began in the early 60s, and just knowing that you never know where your creative legacy will inspire. So once again, this is Baba Israel, the Lift Up live stream, just sharing some reflections on the great man that we lost just recently, Bob FASS, and his wonderful show, Radio Unnameable, which ran for over 50 years in some form or other. And there's a documentary called Radio Nameable under the same name as the show, and I highly recommend it. It's really an affirmation of the role that artists play, the role that radio plays, the way that we can make contact with each other. One of the beautiful things about Bob was that he had people call in, and it's, just like the comments, so once again, I invite you all to share your comments, because for me as an artist, I've always been most interested in interaction and what grows out of interaction, And one of the special things about Bob's show was anybody could call in, and he was there for people, who were dealing with the struggles of living and surviving in New York through multiple decades. And a lot of folks, who worked the midnight hour, the late night shift, the graveyard shift, however you want to call it, they would tune into his show, and there was a sense of community, his cabal, as he called it. And I think about the nights that I would, go on that show with my dad, and it just felt like anything was possible. You never know who would end up in the room. And I think back to that sense of purpose and calm that Bob had, and the way he created a sense of beautiful chaos. And, he had an unbelievable collection of music, and he could take you anywhere and everywhere across the world, across time and space. And, it's probably the only time, when BAI eventually moved to Wall Street, it's probably the only time that I found myself going down to that neighborhood with my dad late at night. Sometimes we'd get there midnight, 1 in the morning, smoking joints in the stairwell. And there was a sense that time would slow down, and you could really just share a story, share a tale, and laugh, have a sense of humor, talk about the world, talk about all that's happening. So once again, welcome. This is going to be a bit of a mellow Lift Up live stream. Once again, just dedicating tonight to Bob FASS, who we lost recently. And if someone says hello on the comments, then I'll be very happy to play some things from the archive. My father was a collector, inspector of the history, no mystery. Try to find it sometimes, the risk to be free. What is freedom when some people are not free? Bars, free association. The bar association, who's legal, who's a lawyer. Tom Sawyer, reading books. When I start to see it, I won't ignore you. Euphoria comes and goes. We lose too many and watch it as we start to compose an old flow, praise poems, and given this 9 time so I can understand where we go is flammable, unnameable, unchainable, unbreakable. I can feel the rhythm going back in my memories, like I was up in Hunter Mountain with Bob and his family, and it was a beautiful trip. I could feel free going down the water, see that I could do it, thinking of my daughter, taking her on trips. That's the blueprint as I start to spit through these words and craft through the sound of my lips. As they form words, observe when you see a human being free and achieving. I'm feeling when I'm retrieving some sense. It's intense how many we lost this year, caught in fear. Try to find it, shed a tear to those we hold dear. I wish I could hold you near, but sometimes we feel like we've been separated because we've had our thing real to fear. But still we steer the ship, lip flowing, given to the rhythm. When I grip, the grip is knowing that I'm still here with you and you're here with me, and we can feel connected as I spit and try to access this poetry. Words form like a storm. See, it's in my core, it's improvisation. Unnameable, unshameable, it's a reflection. Orchestras were taking this journey. You could go to Bob Dylan and hang out with Abby Hoffman. That's what I'm saying when I'm rocking, play some jazz or some blues. When I start, give it up for the people on the radio waves who paying their dues, keeping you tuned, but forget about just the news. Good news, bad news, try to find the muse so we can understand your point of view. Once again, peace everybody. Welcome to the Lift Up live stream. Special dedication to Bob FASS, Freestyle Unnameable for Radio Unnameable. So in a little while, I'm going to get ready to go to a special event tonight, Zoom Unnameable, that's going to be honoring Bob FASS. And I thought maybe before I head out, because I want to get myself into the right mindset for that, I'm gonna play a little excerpt, a couple of little excerpts from my father's archive, Steve Ben Israel, and I'm gonna share with you some times that he was on the radio with Bob. So let me look into my files here for a second. So I got something here from 1984. So we're gonna check out. Let's take a little journey through that. I'm gonna skip around a little bit.
The Sesame Street. To the phone to ask already.
To those brave souls that made it until 4:45 in the morning, with many new and interesting dissonant harmonies.
Well, that was another morning at 4:45. It's not anywhere near that now. It's a little before 3. Yep. And some of us are sitting here, and some of you are sitting there. Some others are sitting way back there in the other room, waiting for the telephone to ring. And I know there are people out there who have called already. So I'd like to ask those of you who are sitting in the room back there waiting for the telephone to ring so you can answer it and write down pledges and all like that, support for WBAI and its marathon, that you do not answer the phone until it has rung at least 10 rings. And I would like those of you who are listening and who have pledged already or who are out there listening and, just want to give some kind of jolt of support, that you call, and we will not pick up the phone. You will not be charged for a call. We will just ask you to call 279-3400, just to see if there are people out there listening. Area code 212. Please, can we have, there's one person. Now, don't answer the phone until no, please, back there, people in the back room, I hope you're listening. Can you hear me? Yes, okay. Do not, there is another call. There are 4 calls. Great. 4 calls. Can we have a 5th call? And do not answer the phone to ask for a pledge unless, there it is, all of the lines are full. Okay, now you can hang up. Unless, of course, you'd like to pledge your support to WBAI. Okay, you can hang up if you want to, but in a little bit, after 10 rings, I warn you, people will pick the phones up. That one person, there's one person who's still calling. Maybe it hasn't reached 10 rings for them yet.
Is believing in certain myths.
You
will have noticed all throughout.
Something else. Have you against the Palestinians? Heard Abby Hoffman and Paul Krasner last week. I was just very interested in the Palestinian question, and something I don't think that many people realize that the Maronite
Quran conspiracy throughout the world to deal with the elements of the society who want to confront the reality, make it more easy to be human on our planet, to bring life to us all.
Yes. Well, there's too many people.
No, I don't think there's too many people. I think there's not enough to go around for all the people that are here, which is here actually. We live in a thing called scarcity, but it's a fake kind of scarcity, you see. And because we live in a thing called scarcity in some parts of the culture, it's called musical chairs. And in this type of scarcity, which is unnatural, because everything that is here that we need to produce to make for each other is quite at our fingertips. And as I said earlier, the answers to our predicament are frightfully simple. It's the behavior amongst us which we're not quite rehearsed. We really don't get a chance in everyday life because we're very busy counting. We're counting how much for this and how much for that, and the rent is going up and the car broke down.
Do you ever read The Spear of Destiny by Trevor Ravenscraft?
Yes, you're going back to that original subject, which is a most mystifying one.
Astral project. Can I ask you something in seriousness?
So people trying to change the cosmology. And, we've seen, that in the Third Reich, as in the Chilean present Reich, and as in certain even the symbols and images here in America, one would call it red, white, and bull. I don't know if one has to be that drastic, but you can see that each country plays out its particular myth of its historic time, and the power people are doing their thing as they've done. But you see, we were slaves and then we're serfs and now we're wage earners, and we're hoping to go the next step. And the next step is a very positive step.
Sir, and it's I guess that's what's going on, But talking about the occult origination of the Third Reich.
Yes, you see, Hitler was turned on by a man named Hornberger, who was part of the Golden Dawn Society at the turn of the century. This is a society of aristocratic German and English noblemen who believed in the superiority of a certain group of people who were destined to rule the earth. And you see a Hornberger who did not like the present cosmology as we know it, Darwin, Freud, Marx, Einstein, at that particular time, great thinkers of the time which came make some kind of change into the cosmos. All of a sudden we began to see that a man like Hornberger said that Germany had its own unique cosmology based on the theory of ice. That Germany was historically in the period of the universe and the cosmos, that it had changed and felt a fantastic pull at this particular time, believed that German people were ordained in some supernatural, and they began a myth because the people at that time, were like people like now, they were reaching out. That's why there's so much spiritualist movements throughout this country. For years we've seen what they call the
reverse the charges.
The gurus and the swamis and so forth and so on, who have come around to, actually the gurus and the swamis that are around today, these swamis, they're basically the revenge on the early missionaries who came to bring Christianity to the savage ones. So there are books you can read about all this. One thing about this information, it's interesting to read, but it's quite mystifying because, you see, it's tough to walk around and say, and that alone won't make the world work.
All in reverse, Hey, Bob.
Yes.
On Earth for a minute, I read a few things about, the Nazism, and it seems to me there's a possibility that they used astral projection and spying. Do you have any of you people ever heard of this? Conceivable?
Hitler was a well-known half-astral projector.
I know.
In this country and in most of your countries, you take this country, in the Declaration of Independence, majority of the signers of the Declaration of Independence were Masons. The reality is that in countries like Germany and the United States, they did have members of the secret societies involved in the government. We know that Benjamin Franklin, in his when he dealt with electricity, he was dealing in some of his Rosicrucian or Mason thought. You see what I mean? And that happened in Germany. It happened in a number of your Western countries. Pardon?
Mr. Bill Jones?
I'm Matt Jones.
Matt Jones.
You're correct. We also know that in this country, I know that Jim Foreman in the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee was doing a study on the secret societies and their effect on say, the Prince Hall Masons in the South.
I don't know what the Masons have to do.
The Masons, well, in the South, I'll just talk about the South. They had a black group of, you could call it.
All right, we're going to take a little break there from that. That was a little taste of my pops just riffing in the night, as he would say, riffs in the night. And that was him with Bob FASS and some folks calling in and just riffing and seeing where we go. tuning in to the Lift Up live stream. If you're here, just reflecting a little bit on the loss of a great member of our community, Bob FASS, who kept the air, the radio waves warm for decades, for generations, and created a space for people to explore, to share, to talk, and for a lot of great musicians to play music. And, as I sit here listening to him and my dad, who also had left us many years ago, I'm hoping that somewhere in the astral heavens, my pops and Bob will get to sit down and smoke a heavenly joint, catch each other up. I don't know whether Bob should leave out the last 4 years or 5 years or tell him all about it. But, how do we honor those that we've lost? We live in an artificial world where everything is constructed, abducted, seducted from your own system, rhythm transmitting. I'm trying to spit fire freedom so I can see and need 'em when I'm breaking through this like that, so I can see 'em. I come from a legacy, a line, rhyme combined when I can shine. I was brought into this avant-garde world of creative people and people swirling in different memories and energies and psychedelic reverie, and feel the melody of the jazz and the blues and the folk and the cruise and the blues and the sat and the sound and the lift and the village, no pillage, and try to pass on laughs and dream on and see where you can go, forget the scheme on. It's not perfect, there were problems, we try to solve them, look around, see where we can go, don't ignore them as I'm growing and I'm flowing and I'm feeling it, revealing it. Sometimes we talk so we can feel when we're healing it, opening up, I take it to my memories so I can see when I feel with the energy, lifting with to find the musical remedy, look around so I can see the vibe enter me. Haha. Check. Check. I'm going to share another little clip. This is an important clip to me. In 1971, my dad went on WBAI, and it was just a couple of days after he had escaped Brazil. He had traveled to Brazil, to Ouro Preto with the Living Theater, and he was there with my mother at the time, and Judith and Tom Walker and the whole, not the whole group, but a big part of the group was there. And they were doing, political theater and reaching out to the community there, the local community, working with young people. And they got arrested. They were in the middle of a military dictatorship, and thankfully my father actually escaped. He was hidden out in a restaurant. He was smuggled out of the country. He dressed up as a woman. It's a wild story. But rather than me tell you it, I'm going to play a little bit of my dad on Bob Fass's show in 1971, recounting his escape from Brazil. We might do this as the remix. Here we go.
And everybody on the Citizen Exchange program got off and on. Looked around and saw a lot of familiar eyes, gestures, and sounds. Hold up. And everybody on the Citizen Exchange program got off and on. Looked around, saw a lot of familiar eyes, gestures, and sounds. Someone came over and held my hand and said, yeah, this is the essential thing. Escape from Brazil. Busted the moment arrives, busted. Busted the moment arrives. Dogs snarling, looking. Men flipped out, flipping peaceful people out. The double flip out energy, the tricky moment, the dogs barking. Yeah, they find it. What do they find? They find something that was not there. They find grass, they take you in. They process you, they put you in the cells. They tell jokes. They point to their throats, and they mention the word grass, macunha, in Brazilian Portuguese. Grass, macunha, Brazilian Portuguese. They mention that word, and they point to their throats, and they go, and they make believe they have little Tommy guns in their hands, and they go, ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. And they tell you, they line you up against the wall, and they shoot you, and they joke about it, and you joke with them because you know. The energy is your energy, their energy. What will happen? What will happen when the energy and the energy meet? What will happen? What will happen? Exercises in decision-making. Exercises in decision-making will make it happen. Will make it happen. Will make it happen. In the jail, the prisoners laugh. They have to laugh to show that they are secure with the guards. They look at us, they frown upon us. They can't meet a direct brotherhood with us, we who, from outer space, here now. We smoke cigarettes, we pass them around. We look, we observe. They talk, we talk. They tell us to be quiet. They take everything you have, and they look at it. They make jokes about it. They take you to another jail, they put you in the back of a truck in a can. It's black in there. It's soundproof in there. It's dark in there. There's little holes, and they drive you to a town. Very fast they drive you. And you pray. And the young guru to your right recites Howl. He recites Howl, and you must be quiet because it is soundproof. And he recites Howl, and we're all howling. Howling. They take you in jail, they make more jokes. And as you're brought up holding 20 boxes of vitamins and tuberculosis medicine, they put you on TV and they show you next to the bag. Show you next to the bag and say, droga, droga, forbidden word, drug, forbidden word, drug. And they take you and they ask you questions. But this is an international theater company. It's a famous theater company. So they play the game. Showtime. Showtime. They move around, they show us their movements, they show us their gestures. We observe, we learn, we know why. They were all children of the madness of the 20th century, before and all that jazz. And we look, and we say, all those numbers. We put them through all the filters. We dig them, we try to dig them, we can't. We try and dig them and we still can't, then we force ourselves to dig them, to make jokes. A man comes over and he asks you questions. He asks you your name. Where do you live? He asks what you do. He asks. You notice from his watch, from the loop of his pants, he has a little medallion with a skull and crossbones. The skull and crossbones. He has Squadron dos Mortes, the death squad, who run free in Brazil, who have carte blanche to deal with the human situation as they see it, as they have been told to see it, as they been educated to see it. And you observe it all and they observe you, and they don't know what to do. And who knows what to do? But they have the process, they have the law, they have begun to process us. We are taken downstairs and we sleep. We sleep in a cell on the floor. We notice all the poetry of all the people who have been there before us. We see the paintings of the hippie girl with a tear coming out of her eye. We see the great poetry of all the jail wall poets speaking to us. In English we see written, hey brother, stay cool and take it easy. In the town of Belo Horizonte, 10 hours inland from Rio de Janeiro, you see poetry in English that says, take it easy brother, be cool. And you look around and you see the other poetry that is written, so that when the guards read it, a new security on the prisoners. He will show the guard that he will be good, that I will be good, that he will be good. Please don't hurt me, please. Please, I will be good. Please don't hurt me. Please, if you hurt me, my father who was sick, he will die. My father, your father, his father, my mother, your mother, his father, dead, alive, living, going on, going on, going on, going on, going on. Yes, you read it all, and people walk by and they tell you stories. And everybody has a story to tell in jail, and they walk around those who are trusted and those who are not trusted. And the gun is at the side, and the dark glasses are on, and we are being processed, always being processed. Oh, big wave, we gotta slow you down, take a look at you and say hello. Oh, big wave, we gotta slow you down and say hello. Yes, and you spend the night in jail and they tell you, today you will be released, and so you wait. And so you wait, and you smoke cigarettes and you wait, and you talk and you hope and you think and you pray. You hope and you think and you pray. You hope that you're gonna let out quick. Yes, you hope that you're gonna be let out quick. And you think, and you think, and you think, and you think, and you think. You think that maybe it's going to be one of those real long ones with all that, and you pray. And you pray that there's even going to be even a miracle. And you wait, and they take you out because you're one of the 5 fortunate ones who were in the house when they came in there with their dogs and with their grass. And they let you out, and they make jokes about it, and they ask you your name. The Jewish policeman says to me, my name is Israel, and says to Andy, his name is Nadelson. He says to Andy, he says, Nadelson, Yiddish? And he replies, yes. And he says, Schwarz. Schwarz, Schwarzer, Schwarz. Schwarz, is he German or is he Jewish? We find later that he's Jewish, Schwarz. But later he makes jokes as they let us out. He makes jokes, we make jokes. The doctor there, yes, the doctor, the head of it all in that building, Doctore. Yes, he takes you into his office and he shows you his diplomas from the American War School. He's very proud of them. He shows you his university degree from Georgetown University. He shows you his graduation picture from the Rochester State Police School. He shows you his diploma from Fort Bragg. And he's very proud and he's very smart and he respects us a little bit because he's an intellectual. He's an art and culture lover. And the 5 of us, because we were in the house, are let out. And we are let out. Yes, and we are let out. And we go back to the house, It's very strange now, there's 5 of us. Yes, we are a group of 5 now who have to get our friends out. That's all that we have to do right now with our one unique lives. There are people in jail, and we have heard stories. One of our friends has walked by us in the cell. He is told that he was taken into a room and his pants pulled down. He tells the story. We've heard of many stories like this. We've seen him in all these supernatural, mystical books. We've seen these pictures many times. We've seen them in these books of the 14th, 15th century with torture dungeons, and we take trips upon it. We see movies. Yes, we see blood in the new hit movies that make blood look like paint. Yeah, it's all good for the new numbness. What is the new numbness? The new numbness is how are we going to stay open in the 70s cookbook? How are we going to write the how are you going to stay open in the 70s cookbook? We are writing it. That's it, man. We are writing it. What anybody says, what anybody does, everybody is writing this book. We're all writing this book. And you get back in your house and you can't. There's a guard outdoors says you can't get in yet. The house is on quarantine. So you stay with friends, and friends tell you this and tell you that, and they tell you the people of the town are disappointed. The people of town began to communicate with us because we began to communicate with the people. Because the time has come for us to learn the language of the people, to understand the people, to gather courage, to gather energy, to connect with ourselves and with our friends, to gather courage to go out and talk to the people and learn the language. And we are learning it. It is being written, and it is, and it goes. And we stay with friends and they talk, and the next day we are riding around in the town trying to find what we can doing because we're flipping and flapping, and we're whipping and wailing, and we're slipping and sliding, and we're all falling through space here, there, everywhere. And we begin to plan, and we think in our minds. Our minds are clogged. They got all this information, and what do we do? What does she do? What does he do? What can I do? I don't know. Maybe, anything, something, anything. Yes, and it goes on. And all of a sudden, you hear they're coming for you again. Why? What have they found this time? They're coming for us again. What should we do? Let's wait. Yes, let's wait. Yes, let's wait. 2 hours go by. 3 hours go by. They're still not coming. 4 of the 5 that has been released goes out from a particular room. I wait. 1 hour, 2 hours. Where are my friends? Where are they? I go out and look. I'm told that they've been picked up again, put in a little black can, and driven back to Belo Horizonte. What should I do? Heart pounding. What should I do? Heart pounding. Mel Brooks many years ago said very funny on a record. He said, I pray that my heart does not attack me. Yes, I breathe. Take in on 7, hold 1, let out on 7. Just keep breathing. Breathing a little bit in staccato right now because I want to keep the pilot light lit. Breathing and praying. Friends tell me, you stay here. Okay, what should I do? You stay here. Tomorrow. Lights out. Candle. Reading poetry in the bathroom where there's no windows. Reading poetry, reading Samuel Taylor Coleridge and Albert Tasman's new poems. Reading. Cigarettes. Guarana soft drink is all. Guarana, softly Brazil. Hoping and thinking and praying. Praying to sleep. Yeah, sleep comes. Wake up in the morning. Waiting. Noon. Friend comes in again. He says, we're speaking to certain people. Sure, fine, good, great, beautiful. Out of sight. See you later. Chung, splits. Think, Samuel Coleridge and Alan Katzman. What's going on? What's happening? Yeah, go on. Time passes. 2 million, trillion, thousand thoughts about how it's all possible. Thinking about how there's enough for everybody. The distribution. Don't want to give it up. They can't believe that it's possible. The slaves can't believe. They don't have to be slaves. The masters don't have to be masters. Can't give it up. Why can't you give up? I can't get up needing all that stuff. And I can't give up knowing that whatever I have, no matter how little, along with God, I shall pass into the great eternity. The other man thinks he will pass into the great eternity because he has figured out how to survive in this insane 20th century by totally hustling his brothers. Some do it, some know it, some don't. They go on. They are writing this thing as well. It's part of the whole thing that's being written. And I'm there waiting for time. I'm waiting for the man to come back, tell me what to do next. I don't know what to do. I'm in a room, and they're looking for me. Who? The police, a form invented by man. The police, a form invented by man, is looking for me. How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 200 in the town looking around. They're walking into cafes. Yes, they see a group of boys and girls. They look a little bit like a hippie. They go past the table and they mention his name, my name, your name, everybody's name. They say, Steve, loud, and the kids are shook up. They react. Will they react in a way that they know something or not know something? We don't know. I wasn't there. Were you there? We were all there. We were always there. In the gut. Even when you are freed and you land, it's in your gut no matter where you go. You keep your fingers crossed. You keep them crossed. Keep your fingers crossed. Yes, that's what we're doing. Writing the How You're Going to Stay Open in the 70s cookbook, and keep your fingers crossed. And you wait, and they come. Information. Waiting for information that comes. There's news that has something to do with a bit of a miracle. Oh, it's not a miracle, it's something done by man. It's something done by man for man. Is that a miracle? Halfway, yes. A miracle is something we meet halfway. Yes? He comes in, he tells me, tomorrow, there is a man coming here. And this man will take you there, and then take you there, and take you there, and take you there. Oh, it's a movie, my God. They seek him here, they seek him there, they seek him here and everywhere. It's the Scarlet Pimpernel, Jean Valjean. Weren't you brought up on it too? Yes, we all were. Always. Yeah, always. Heart pounding. Wow, heart pounding. I wait. The next day, the man comes in, he says, yes. He speaks the language of my country. He says, yes. He says to me, I will take you there. I will take you here and everywhere. And we will go, and we will fly, and you will go up into the sky, and you will land, and you will be in another place. Beautiful. In another place, with my gut, with your gut, with all our guts. In another place, in the same place, eternal. The eternal place. And I wait. He says to me, tonight at 9:30, after the concert, I should come pick for you. Right. 5 hours to go. Beautiful. 5 hours to go. Beautiful. All of a sudden, 2 hours before, I'm shocked. All of a sudden, I'm told I must leave the space now. It is impossible for me to leave the space now. There is nowhere where I can go. There is nowhere. If I go out to the street, I'm gone. I'm gone back into the can, back into the process. I have a thought. Maybe I should give myself up. Maybe I should show that since I have done no crime, since I'm just another unique live human being, I should give myself up and I will go, and they will see the light. And I fly. I begin to fly 4.5 hours now. Yes, time is 7 o'clock now, and I must go. He says, wait a minute, because he understands, because he knows how crazy it is. He knows how insane it is. He knows the changes because he can feel, and he can see, and he can smell, and hear all at the same time. Yes, he can. He tells me that. He comes back in 2 minutes, and he says, come here, and through there with the hat on my head and the coat. And I go through there underneath the thing, just like he did in all those movies, just like you do in your heads, trying to find a light to the dream, to keep the dream thread tied to the phantasm. You look for it, you go through underneath and out, anything, something, anything you look, and you shall find, and it's there, and it's here, and everywhere. The Scarlet Pimpernel, Jean Valjean, Monsieur Madeleine, Jean Valjean. And you're taking and you're flooding and saying, don't drive too fast, man, don't drive too fast. Because if you drive too fast, heat, and that would be a drag to go that way, wouldn't you? And you're taken to another house. They say, you go here. You stay here. You stay here. I said, yes, I stay here. Here is a beer. Here is some cigarettes. And here's some magazines to read. I said, thank you very much. I have 2 hours to wait. 9:30, I'm coming in this car, and I shall go. Heart pounding. Breathe. 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 Fly. Yes, time for a shower. Wow, 3 days, no shower, great. Shave, change of underwear, beautiful socks. Out of sight, hot water upon my body, yeah. Warm spine, jingles, groovy, yeah. For 1 second there, I don't know where I am. Groovy, come back, hello, yes, reality, 9:30, deadline. Okay, 9:30, deadline. 1 hour to go, yes. So I take a double scotch and soda and dig it. And I dig it. And I dig it. And I dig it. I hear music. I hear music in the faraway Brazil of friends singing here in New York or somewhere or London or everywhere, always and continually, eternally. And all of a sudden 9:30, and they come. They say, here's a better hat, here's a better coat, and into the car. And we begin, and we're moving, we're in motion, we're moving, we're going past through space. Yes, we're going past through space. Up. And everybody surgeon. And you go to the plastic surgeon, you say, man, you tell a man to make your face just like Cary Grant. And then, baby, I'm gonna love you. He says, what? I'm never gonna be look like Cary Grant. Dig it. Dig it. Forever and forever and forever. Rio, going down to Rio. I mean, Rio de Janeiro, yes. Ipanema, Copacabana, Leblon, and these mountains on the hill where 180,000 poor people live. And you walk right down and you're next to a mansion. These poor people. Poor people. What's the poor man? What is a poor person? A poor person in Rio? Going down to Rio. To Rio. We arrive in Rio. Big city, 6 million people. Yeah, Rio de Janeiro. Yeah, taken to the man's place. I'm going to another place now. I'm sitting there, and that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to sit there, and I'm going to continue to hope and to think and to pray. Because I've gotten this far, because this is stage 3. All I have to do now is get on this airplane, and the airplane takes off, and I'm saying, when that airplane takes off, man, I'm going to really get high. Yeah. And so I wait 6 more hours, 6 more hours, 6 more hours, 6 more hours. Oh, I'm treated beautifully. The man speaks my language. He says yes. He talks to me in the language of my country. He keeps saying yes. He says yes, 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 yes. It's all possible. Yes, yes, yes. It's all possible. Hey, man. 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 Yes, 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 it's all possible. Hey, man, it's all possible. Yes, yes. Hey, man, it's all possible. Yes, 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 yes. Hey, man, it's all possible. Yes, yes, yes. Hey, man, it's all possible. Yes, yes. Hey, man, it's all possible. Yes, yes. Hey, man, it's all possible. Yes. Hey, man, it's all possible. Yes. Hey, man, it's all possible. Yes. Hey, man. It's all possible. It's all possible. The hours are going by now pretty quickly. I've got this sort of feeling of hope. I've got this sort of feeling that maybe I'm going to get on this airplane and I'm going to fly out. I mean, this is just a short period of time of like one just bloke on this planet. Just a couple of days in his life and what it begins to feel, because he knows this is what everybody feels. Because, you know, everybody's famous. Everybody's famous. Everybody's famous because they feel this, yes. Because they feel this, yes. Because they know there is a madness coming into all of our lives, for which we are not prepared for as yet. But we are writing this book. We are writing this book. We are writing this book. Yeah. Yeah. Almost. What time does the plane leave? The plane leaves at 1:30 a.m. Great. What time is it now? It's 12 o'clock. I think we should go. Yeah. Well, man, I want to thank you people and wow, and went into to one of her husbands, said, man, you should go to plastic surgeon. And you go to plastic, a pack of cigarettes, and thank you people for like this whole trip. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, out of sight. Yeah, okay, I'll see you. Yeah, I'll see you. Yeah, I'll see you. Yeah, I'll see you. I'll see you. Yeah, I'll see you. I'll see you. I'll see you soon. I'll see you soon. Okay, here we go in that car again. wow, I'm going to this car again. And we're driving out there to the thing, and yeah, it's at 1:30. Yeah, we go out there, and sure, okay, and okay, so I'll get a couple of magazines and a pack of cigarettes, and let's have an orange drink, right? Okay, great, we'll have an orange drink. We take an orange drink, and like we go through the first thing, it says passport control. Passport control. This particular airline that was happening this particular time had just been hijacked a few times, and so they putting everybody through like a very, would you take your clothes off, please? Don't you have some other type of identification? Don't you have a particular card, sir, that has your picture on it? I said, well, I have my passport. He says, yes, but don't. I said, well, in my country, you know, you don't need identification card with a picture on it. Yet. The plane leaves in 7 minutes. Wow. You know, I've really got to get to New York because my father's sick. He's 71 years old, so I'm going there. I'm sure you can dig it. Yes. Oh, great. Thank you very much. That's my passport. Thank you very much. We go up there, yes, and up there. Excuse me, could you tell me, would you say it real loud when this flight 330 Argentine airline takes off? Yes, it takes off in 2 minutes. Thank you very much. And I board the plane, yeah. And I board the plane, and maybe I'm thinking that I'm hearing like the sound of a particular car, motorcycle, scooter is coming on very, very quickly, and it's going to, yes. And I walk up there, and I say, can I take any seat? Can I take any seat? Yeah, great. Oh, wow. I sit down, okay. Oh, you fasten your seatbelts, please. Please, no smoking. Sound of anything taking off. Sound of taking off. My God. This is WBAI in New York. On the airplane. Wow. Come on, man, you mean it? Just for a few seconds, sure. Wherever I'm going to be, wherever I'm going to see, lives in my country. My country is Brazil. It is New York. It is Prague. It is everywhere. It is this where. It is somewhere. It is right here. I land in New York. In my gut. In my gut. Now and eternal. In my gut. The Kundalini Express pulled up, and everybody on the Citizen Exchange program got off and on. Someone came over to me and held my hand and said, yeah, man, this is the essential thing. Yeah, man, this is the essential thing.
I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Big shout out to Steve Bloom. Shout out to Joy in the house, Joy Beckerman. Looking forward to celebrating with you both this Saturday. My pops was a lifelong Viper cannabis enthusiast. Shared many a joint with Bob FASS. Many great memories, many times. And I'm grateful to be sharing this space with you. And I look forward to seeing you all Saturday. And, we'll be cheering on, vibing strong. So once again, thank you for tuning in to the Lift Up live stream. We did a special only audio version tonight. Special audio version just to pay honor and pay respect and homage, as my pops would say, to one of the greats, Bob FASS, who created a safe and adventurous and chaotic and beautiful and transcendental and grounded and insane and profound and weird and surreal and gentle and warm space on the airwaves. I think about Bob, and I think about the power for people to feel connected, and I think about in the 60s, in the prime time of his show, he could put the call out and people would gather, and that sense of a collective spirit, a collective accountability. And I'm grateful for all the folks out there who still find a way in our hyper-commercialized algorithm insanity of a life that we're all dealing with, a global pandemic, a civil uprising, a hypnotizing, addictive internet communicating threat that we all face each day, and try to find how we remain sane and full of love and life when there are so many forces and courses coursing through veins that try to pull us off the flame of inspiration that we find when we allow our mind to intertwine with each possible connection. When we see each person as a reflection, as a pathway to inspiration, introspection, or maybe just a beautiful selection of some words to share, some food to love and prepare. Sending much love to everyone. I've got to get heading out. We're going to be part of a special event tonight called Zoom Unnameable, gathering with friends to honor and celebrate the life of Bob FASS. I was very moved by the funeral ceremony today down in Charlotte, North Carolina. It was good to let some tears out, and you know, there's a lot to grieve. And Bob was a mensch. He was a holder of space, a sonic wizard, and just someone with deep commitment and generosity, and a real belief in just the human capacity to connect. So I send that love out to all of you. Thank you for tuning in, for stopping by the Lift Up live stream. I'll be back in my full visual form next week. But once again, wanted to just take a moment to honor the passing of Bob FASS, someone who was someone I knew my whole life, and someone I'm grateful to have spent time with and to have hung out on his show. And it was just a reminder that, you know, I remember being in college and playing with mixing several different, you know, audio tapes and vinyl and just creating these sound collages, and thinking back to being a kid in that studio and just watching the mix, and grateful for all that he shared. So thank you for stopping by for this Lift Up live stream in honor of the great Bob FASS. And I'm gonna take it out with one freestyle. Feel free to throw something in the comments if you're here. And let's go out like this. We're gonna bring this back one more time. Each day, each day. Ayo, each day's a new way, freestyle improvisation. Try to find it when I could do it in, when I'm going in, flowing in, breaking form. Working with multiple things at the same time, my mind swarm. Try to transform, see where it's going. Flowing into the place, life as it's holding. That's what I'm saying, sometimes we feel frozen. Reversing implosion and transform to an explosion of thought. Not star-bought, it's original star. Priming the rhyme so I can see subliminal thoughts that they follow and borrow, seek to swallow. Do it like that, cause there's never tomorrow promised. That's why we have to be honest and modest. When I can see it, when I'm looking inside, so I can see the goddess. Yo, that is what I mean, serene dream. When I'm lifting and shifting this, whatever your left reference is, so I can see extensions is. When it's maybe going into the rhythm, I got to let it build. Feeling that rhythm when I feel that, so I can see it with that moment when I seal that. Cause I'm breaking from the norm, taking to the storm. When I'm relating and celebrating the warm heart energy that we pass from one to the next. See what we can feel perplexed. Sometimes we connect through the airwaves, so we can share brave insights. Been tight when we fight, and there's new days, new ways like the sun rays. Cause I'm listening on a Thursday to the wee hours. Got those soul powers, so I can feel it growing like I'm looking inside the soul flowers. Blooming, no consuming, reversing, exhuming and dooming. And see it when I do it, when I'm harpooning. Yo, like Groucho, Marx and Harpo. Spark flows when I rock a couple Brooklyn kids, and I'm rhyming rhythm when I see it. Cause I'm hanging out with yippies, and I'm climbing stairs and BAI, and I'm flying. Yes, I wanna stare and I'm crying. Too many of my heroes dying. Too many of my family no longer here. Shed a tear, feeling fear. Try to keep it on so I can keep making each day. Sometimes the stress really starts to weigh. And play, bring it back, cause I'ma do it for the one. Hey, that's what we say. It's not like an ashtray, the trash spray, so I can see it like the last day. Trick yourself like a Zen koan. I got the flow in. We could play a record and check it, respect it, collect it. Cause sometimes we feel like we rejected. Too many been infected with this virus. That's why we wanna take it back, but not to papyrus. Like a scroll, the oral tradition, it flows through the radio waves like a nameable days. When I find it, when I'm walking through the maze in the hallways, and you can see what does it pay when you feel the rhythm when I start to just sway. So I'ma say peace today. Peace, y'all. Sending much love and all my respect to the late great Bob FASS. Peace and good night.